When I found out how serious my kidney disease was, I was very angry. I thought, well, why me? Why not someone else? I thought I was a good kid. I thought I was a good student. I was nice to people. Why did this happen to me? I had plans for college, to get married, to have kids in the house and the career, and I just felt as though all of that wouldn't come true for me because of this disease. And I thought that was unfair.
I was completely shocked. I had never had so much as a broken bone before my entire life. And here I was heading into the last semester of my senior year of college. I was happy. My family was wonderful. I had an incredible boyfriend. I was about ready to start my career. I was, at college on an academic scholarship. I was there on a vocal scholarship as well. And I had a bright future ahead of me, and everything was sort of planned out for me. And to be diagnosed with lupus and kidney failure at age 21 when you're about to start your life is really scary and really shocking. So I didn't quite know what to do. I cried. I had some why me? I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm about to, I'm a good person. I've never done anything wrong in my life, but this is happening to me. And I had a few minutes of that and then sort of decided I needed to buck up and find out what was wrong with me and take care of it.
Before the kidney disease became a part of my life, I was angry. I was an angry young man because life was hard. The tragedy for me is the fact that I believe that I was just about to reach the point when things were about to get better. I was on my way to college, I had a scholarship, I had great relationships. It really appeared as if things were finally about to go my way. And then this doctor says, you have this disease that will probably kill you. And I was an angry person who was getting better, and I just went to a whole nother level with my anger. I became someone who was not approachable. I just couldn't understand why this was happening to me.
So I had to stop my life basically. I stopped going to school. I couldn't go to school. I couldn't, party, as you would say. And it was like living an alternate life. So I stopped I stopped being Evan Ellington, the young adult at 19, and became the dialysis patient. And now I'm just getting back into the young adult at 22. Well, for me, life changed. I was in school to become an OBGYN, and I figured I can just continue on doing what I was doing. I don't drink or anything like that. I'm a really good girl. It's just that I like to move. I'm a constant mover. I can't sit still. I have to be gone all the time.
Well, I guess the biggest thing is I didn't dream of it. I didn't think, oh, one day when I grow up I want to have kidney disease and, have to be on a machine 10 hours. So I guess that's the toughest part is having to deal with it all. I mean, as a 26-year-old, I don't know too many other 26-year-olds that has to deal with it. Maybe part of the way she has to deal with it is because it seemed like that's, every day I had to hear about, oh, you have kidney disease, and sometimes I just didn't want to, I was still doing my dialysis, but I just didn't want to have to go to the doctors and talk to them.
I do not feel that the kidney disease interrupted my growing process per se. If anything, I felt that it sped up the process. One of the greater tragedies to me is that this process has aged me, Well, I'm a young man And this huge thing was just thrown into my lap. And I absolutely point the finger at this disease, and it's aged me so much emotionally and mentally that I'm really not a 26-year-old anymore.
There is no cure for kidney disease, so just because I have a transplant doesn't mean I'm cured whatsoever. I take about 60 pills a day. There are many different manifestations in my life that I would much rather do without, but unfortunately they come along with the baggage of a transplant. Health insurance. I cannot be without health insurance at any moment. It would be virtually impossible for me to afford even one of my medications out of pocket, let alone all of them. I had to go to the doctor whether or not I felt ill. Was my blood pressure okay? Did I have to get my blood work done before class? So I didn't get those extra hour and a half, 3 hours of sleep. If I'd go to the ER in the middle of the night, I would roll into Org Chem at 9 in the morning from the ER while other people are rolling in from parties or from a good night's sleep.
No one ever told me that I couldn't have kids, but they said that it's a 1 in 3 chance that my children will end up with the same problems that I have. Having children became that something that I could kind of look forward to, and it became this idea of I could kind of right the wrongs that were done to me.
Well, for everybody who knows me, I'm very, very independent. My mom raised me not to depend on any person, particularly any guy. So I, pay my own bills. I was moving out of my mom's house and starting dialysis. Basically, you have to stop because it's good to have somebody there. Every time I got ready to move out, I had to stop because I ended up in the hospital. I lost $100 because I bet somebody by my birthday I would be gone, and I ended up in the hospital and out of work for 2 months. So I lost that bet.
Young people, or rather people in my age group, we're at this point where we're not being needy and being dependent is just so important. And this idea of I need to depend on someone else just doesn't work with everything else in my life that's saying you need to learn not to be so needy. You need to learn to be self-sufficient.
My friends now, they care more about me. I mean, I don't know if they do, but they take maybe more care of me than they do with other friends or other people, just because they know that I have this disease and they know it could be life-threatening, and they don't want me to pass away. So they pretty much, they try to watch out for me. If we go out, I'm 26, people are like, oh, you want a beer, want a drink? And I'm like, no, I can't. And my friends stick up for me. They're there. They understand that, and they understand like, oh, I have to go home. I have to go do dialysis.
I don't like people to fuss over me or treat me like I'm sick. It bothered me in part because I was in my early 20s and I wasn't living in my parents' house anymore, and I didn't want to be treated like a child. I felt capable of taking care of myself. I didn't want to be treated like a child. I think it's really hard for the people around somebody who has a chronic illness to know what to do. Because there are times where I do want everybody to, put their arms around me and be supportive and try to make me feel better. And there are other times where I want everybody to back off. And I don't even know what causes the change sometimes.
Well,